Hi everyone, it's me, Sierra, the pool toy. And we're in December right now. Christmas is almost upon us. Holiday season is in full swing. It's the time of the year where you hear a lot of Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. Or the Hallmark Channel is playing a lot of their best Christmas specials where you hear all these stories of people who have the perfect life. Or if they're having a rough time at the moment, some sort of miracle happens and then they have the perfect life. But for many of us, this time of year, the holiday season can bring about feelings that are less than jolly. And by that I mean the holiday seasons can be stressful. And they can bring about all kinds of feelings that, don't really seem to pop up as often the rest of the year. If you work in a store, business is picking up, you're becoming a lot more stressed and rushed. Customers are stressed out as well, and they're taking it out on you. And, it could be a different thing. It could be maybe, strained relationships with others who, it's the holiday season, the family's getting together, that could be part of it. Maybe you have to travel somewhere and you're not really the biggest on traveling. Maybe you're just lonely and, you're away from family. Your friends are going to be doing other things with their families and you're going to be alone on Christmas. It could also be maybe a reminder of some grief or loss that you're still experiencing, where this will become the first Christmas without, a family member or a friend who you lost earlier this year. And that can be really tough. But to be honest, none of that is actually your fault. It's not unreasonable to feel like there are some unrealistic expectations around the holiday. Everyone's happy. You're looking on social media and you see your friends and family posting up pictures of amazing lights and all the nice things that they have going on at this point, which, they had to curate that and they're showing you like the highlights of their holiday season. But you compare that to just how you feel in the everyday, every moment portions of your life, and the comparison doesn't always hold up. It could be another thing too. You have this expectation that you got to get everybody gifts, but maybe financially you're not doing so hot. And so now you have to balance this, concern about getting them a gift that you think that they would like versus your own pocketbook and, how financially stressed that you're going to be for who knows how long. You're not alone in a lot of these problems, it's difficult for us. And, okay, so what are the signs that you have these holiday blues anyway? Well, maybe you're just tired. Everything's tired, you're overworked, it's just too stressful at work, everything is stressful for you, and you just get home and you're just tired. All the time. You might even be irritable. Everybody's showing off their highlight reels. Everything looks amazing to them. And, that'll make you irritated too. And you could just feel like overwhelmed or like things just don't sort of hit right anymore. You used to, even just playing video games used to be enough for you to like have fun. But during this time of the year, maybe you just still end up focusing too much on things that you don't have, or sort of the negative feelings that are coming up where, not even video games can sedate you out of these negative feelings. And that's fair. It's fair to feel that way. But the good news is that the holiday blues are temporary. It's just this time of the year, everyone's putting up everything. That's where this expectation that everything is going to be amazing this season right now. And, once the holidays are over, everything kind of goes back to normal. Everyone starts acting more normal again. Sort of the social media feed goes back to what it used to look like. And suddenly the comparisons sort of level off again. In the meantime, though, we are in this holiday blues season. So, how do we cope? How do we deal with it? Well, we got a bunch of options, thankfully. If you've seen some of my other content, hopefully this is going to overlap a little bit. So, one of the things that you could always do is if you're feeling overwhelmed by too many people asking for too many things, just start setting boundaries. Say, sorry, I'm not going to be able to make it. If you have way too many invites to too many places to do too many things, just practice saying no. And really, if you're feeling not so great, try to take care of yourself a little more. If you can, go for some walks outside. Try to maintain a reasonable sleep schedule. Try to not eat your feelings and try to stay focused on, eating healthy. Another option too, brought it up, social media. Try to, get off of that a little bit more. Try not to follow so many things going on. Because if you're just going to compare yourself to others, that's definitely going to be a source of your holiday blues. Another thing too is, are you feeling lonely? Well, if you're feeling lonely, start reaching out to people. You might not be able to get hits from everybody who you reach out to, whether it's family or friends, but there might be somebody out there who will hang out with you or talk to you. I mean, I'm in VR, so it sort of makes it easy for me to just join in on somebody. Another option would be just going to a public instance and just with an activity or something and then just playing around with other people. But try to make that intentional connection of actually reaching out to people would just do you huge wonders for your loneliness. Another thing to do is this time of year, a gratitude list. How did your year go? What were the good things that happened this year? Is there anything that just made you feel better? Did you make progress in anything? Is there anything that you want to focus on that was positive? And then, try to be kind to yourself. Maybe you had some high expectations of what the holiday's supposed to be. For myself, I don't really have high expectations for the holidays anymore. I just know it's a time of going to church, and I'm going to spend time with family, and we're going to eat some good food. But as far as anything else, an amazing gift-giving season, anything like that, I'm no. It's mostly just a time for family, and for me, church. So that's the kind of thing that, definitely can help. It's not some ultra magical time of the year where everything's going to be amazing and everything's going to be perfect and you're going to get your Christmas miracle that's going to set you off for the rest of your life, even though you're in your mid-20s. These feelings pass. And, these are just some ways to feel better, and you do deserve it. And so I hope that, during this season, these holidays, I really do hope that you're feeling all right. And if you're feeling depressed or upset about anything related to the holidays, I hope that you're able to find a way to work through it a little bit, whether it's something I said or maybe in your situation it's something else, and then you can hopefully find some resources to help with that. So I hope that this video's been useful, at least a little bit. And before I close out the video, I also wanted to just let you know that I've been there. I used to work retail, and the holiday seasons just became over 8 hours of insanity. And it was so stressful. And then I'd come home and and family was just constantly wanting to do things. Activities, going out places, but I was just so tired. And it just kind of felt like I wanted to be left alone. Which is also funny because I also felt pretty lonely. The people around weren't the people I wanted to be around. Where you could still feel alone in a crowd. But those times pass. And I hope that you understand that even if you're having a rough go this year, that time helps. And, if you know of anything that has helped you through rough holiday seasons, is there anything you're trying this year? Feel free to drop a comment down there. And if for whatever reason after this season you don't feel any better and it just sort of sticks around even longer, it might be time to reach out to a professional. There's a lot of really good professionals out there if you start Googling. So try to take the pressure off yourself a little bit this season. If you're having a rough go, just take a little bit of a step back. You don't have to cut off everything, but just try to start establishing some boundaries for yourself. And I hope that this holiday season you do have a wonderful time. And even if you don't, I hope that you'll start doing the things that you need to in order to improve your life. So that hopefully, if not this year, then next year, I hope that you'll have a Merry Christmas.